That coming ahead of a planned military offensive in some parts of the territory's most populated areas. The Israeli group in charge of humanitarian aid says equipment supply will resume on Sunday. No word yet on when the movement of people will begin. Families of Israeli hostages fear the offensive may further endanger the 50 hostages left in Gaza. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world,
Trey Yingst, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel.
To Washington,
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to Fox News.
More National Guard.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Your weekend forecast. I'm Johnette Cruz. Here's what's trending this hour. The hot and humid temperatures continue to hit central Indiana, but some scattered showers could potentially also hit with the heat mixed in. Sunday, we'll have a high nearing 94. Then the forecast next week shows a mix of sun and storms, with the heat sticking around until Wednesday. Finally, we'll see temperatures drop into the mid-80s. Notre Dame safety Adon Schuler says facing Miami quarterback Carson Beck will be a challenge. Len Clark reports from South Bend.
Notre Dame's defense prepared for Carson Beck last season when he played at Georgia, and Notre Dame safety Adon Schuler says the key is to give Beck things he has not seen before.
We kind of just have to play our style of football and, kind of give him different looks.
Under defensive backs coach Mike Mickens, Notre Dame plans to put players into different spots to maximize playmaking opportunities. The Irish face Beck in the Hurricanes in Miami on Sunday, August 31st. Len Clark, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I specialize in leather, specifically bespoke builds. I've been doing this roughly 11 years. I started back in early 2015.
That's leather goods designer Tracy Julian James. After years of dedication to his craft, this weekend marks his next step, opening Julian James Bespoke Leather Goods located at the Stutz Building in downtown Indianapolis. When asked about his thoughts on his experience,
it's literally been a journey, and it's been a God-led journey. Loved every part of it.
I'm Johnette Cruz on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Feels like temperatures around 100 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, scattered showers and thunderstorms possible for Sunday. Same thing. Scattered showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy, hot, a high of 94. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Well, summer's still hot, and so are the deals at Tom Roush Lincoln. Right now, get 0% for up to 48 months on 2025 Lincoln Aviator and Nautilus, or 0.9% for 72 months on 2025 Grand Touring Corsair. Or how about a $50,000 Lincoln Corsair from just $499 per month? So come get one of those hot summer deals at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fisher.
MSRP $52.20, 36-month term, $2,500 due at signing, $499 a month, 10,500 miles per year. Good through 8/31/25.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Tumble out of bed and I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping out on the street.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to 93 WIBC, another edition of Saturday Night on the Circle, where I'm your host, Ethan Hatcher. Happy to return after skipping out last week due to a trip in Pennsylvania, resolving long-standing legal issues that I am happy to report, producer Jack, I have returned victorious. I think this was actually a problem that predates you as my producer on this show, is how long this has been going on. It started Labor Day of 2023, but I know I told you about this, where this rascally mechanic kept my vehicle for 13 months, and I had to file a complaint with the Attorney General and list a lawyer before he returned it to me.
Yeah, this has been going on for a while.
So I got it back after 13 months. This was late last September, after he had kept it for a protracted period of time to supposedly perform the transmission repair that I had paid him up front to do. That was the worst part, because he had asked for a $4,000 down payment. I was down and out. I had few options at my disposal being out of state, and I trusted this mechanic who seemingly had good reviews on the Google machine to perform the repairs. And then it was just a carousel of excuses from that point on up until the point of July the following year, where I filed my complaint with the Attorney General and enlisted the help of an attorney. Now, he returned the vehicle, and I think he thought he was going to be in the clear at that point, but I did not feel made whole. In fact, as soon as I got the vehicle back, I had to take it back to a local mechanic because he didn't perform the clutch repairs that he had initially promised to do. So there were still more repairs that were necessary to the vehicle. Finally, this culminated in a ruling from the small claims court, a judgment in my favor of $6,370, most of the, I think, $7,200 and some change that myself and my lawyer had asked for in restitution. That being said, I would say it appears the judge did not buy the BS excuses of Mr. Mischievous Mechanic any more than I did to give a judgment in that amount. Wouldn't you agree, Producer Jack?
Yeah, I agree.
So it covers the cost of repairs. It covers a fraction of cost of the attorney fees. But at the end of the day, you know what this represents? It represents a moral victory. It represents that although the gears of justice grind slowly, they do, in fact, work in favor of you as long as you have the facts on your side, which I did. So I can at least rest easy knowing that I came out on the other side victorious. Pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations.
But I returned home, producer Jack, to enormous frustration because this past Monday was supposed to be the first day of DPW unveiling their transformation of Michigan and New York streets, which, if anybody's listened to this show for a period of time, knows I am an enormous opponent of, and the disaster is just as bad as I had envisaged. You see, producer Jack, Michigan and New York streets were arterial thoroughfares for the city. They were one-way streets that crossed from the east to the west side. Highly efficient flow of traffic. It allowed you to go from one side of the city to the other side in about 20 minutes. It was highly efficient. That's all gone now, thanks to the brainiacs of the Department of Public Works in Indianapolis and the anti-car activists who have currently bent their ear because they've turned these one-way streets into two-way streets that are now also incredibly narrow thanks to the double-wide bike lane and these ridiculous isolated medians that they've installed, that the city now has to purchase specialty equipment, producer Jack, just to plow the snow in the bike lanes that nobody uses, that's also eaten up half of available parking on New York and Michigan Street just to facilitate. This is utterly maddening, and the narrowing of the lanes make it incredibly difficult for larger vehicles like school buses, garbage trucks, box trucks, regular buses, and other, larger vehicles that make this city function. It makes it incredibly difficult for them to navigate those streets effectively, all to appease a relatively small group of anti-car activists who are engaging in this campaign of traffic calming around the city. And when you ever see a head scratcher that makes you question the reasoning of what's going on, or what these civil engineers are coming up with, that's usually the result of this traffic calming, anti-car activism that is leaching its way into society. It's the thing that is giving us these dedicated bus rapid transit bus lanes because nobody rides the bus, but the goal is to edge out cars. Ultimately, Producer Jack, they hate cars and they hate the freedom that car ownership imparts, the freedom of movement that you get. And when they control your movement, they make it easier to control you as an individual. That's why they're trying with all of their might to take your car from you and get you on a bicycle or get you on a bus, because they do not value the freedom of movement that car ownership imparts. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle, 93 WIBC. And this makes it especially maddening because not only is the city destroying what had been a feature, which was an easy commute and easy navigation of the metropolis, but they are failing to maintain basic law and order. Over on Luger Plaza, right across from the transit center that they want everybody to use, they've turned it into a basically an open-air drug den because of all these hooligan pigeons that are always congregating on the plaza there. This was reported by Ryan Hedrick after we had a couple of 3 or more overdoses on Thursday night, again, right across from the transit center. Why would people use the transit center if it's surrounded by tweaking out criminals? It's nuts.
3 more people near the transit center overdose on drugs on Thursday night, and I'm talking to people here in downtown Indianapolis. I'm standing on Luger Plaza. This guy I talked to right across the street from the transit center says he is seeing a lot of people OD and nobody's talking about it.
It's been like a little bit more on a rise than usual. Yeah. So it's just kind of been kind of terrible to see a lot of people just not being able to just kind of be healthy and strong.
What drugs are they using out here?
It's a kamikaze. It could be an assortment. From coke all the way to acid. People have been using whatever.
Sharon says it doesn't matter if Indy Metro Police are in this building behind me and people are using on cameras monitored by the police. He says there's just no consequences.
They just say, the police can't do nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just hard. People homeless, strung out on drugs. You can't make nobody change their life. So if they want to keep doing this, what can they do? Keep locking them up? They're going to get out and do it again. They need more resources. They need more help. So they right here pleading for help in front of them. That's how I look at it. They ain't scared of them. And they feel like they ain't doing nothing wrong.
Nigh is the time of madness and disdain.
Getting high, tweaking out, using hard drugs in public, and having the audacity to feel that they're not doing anything wrong. This isn't a lack of ability on the part of IMPD. This is a lack of willingness on the part of city leadership, and I'm looking at Mayor Joe Hogsett, and I'm especially looking at Prosecutor Ryan Mears to enforce basic law and order in the city. Their primary constituency are these criminal elements that they seek to coddle and the bleeding hearts that support that kind of behavior. And it's gross that they value their rights and privileges to cause mayhem in the city more than your basic safety and freedom to move about the city without being threatened by these tweaking out maniacs in a public square. Again, this is right across from the transit station. This isn't under a bridge. This isn't in like a shady industrial part of the city. This is in the heart of the downtown, right next to the Center Township, what used to be the small claims court building, the seat of city government, and a police station, for God's sakes. This is absolutely ridiculous. So it is not a lack of ability from the city, is a lack of seriousness and willingness on the part of city leadership to enforce basic law and order and the civil society. And that's why you see this city literally crumbling around you at the foundations, whether it's tweaking out drug addicts right across from the transit center next to a police station, or whether it's these homeless encampments that have now suddenly sprung up in residential neighborhoods, and the city also unwilling to make action on that as well. Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. Coming up next, we'll also talk about out-of-control beef prices and how that's affecting your ability to put food on the dinner table. Tell you all about it coming up next.
Kendall and Casey.
What are we seeing right now on Capitol Hill? Everybody conforming, everybody standing together rather than people standing up for what's right. What did we see during the legislative session? All of these Republicans, nobody who for the most part will stand up or be different or raise their voice or be heard, not doing the thing that brought them to the dance. They worry how it'll affect their power.
Kendall and Casey, weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Golf fans, convention goers, and visitors of all kinds, welcome to Indianapolis, a great event-hosting city thanks to Hoosier hospitality and terrific infrastructure like state-of-the-art stadiums, meeting spaces, and hotels, plus a world-class airport and interstates that make it easy to get around. But these buildings and roads don't just happen. They're built by men and women living here in central Indiana. Union members of Labor's Local 120 maintain and build Indy's roads, bridges, and highways. They're the ones you pass as you drive by the orange barrels. It's hard work, dangerous work. Yet there they are, working to make sure you have a smoother, safer ride to your event. And just like you, they'd like to get home safe too. So let's be mindful of the local workers who make the roads safe for all of us.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save lives. We're all in this together.
Neighborhoods are popping up everywhere, but if you want something different than what you're currently seeing, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, can build you a unique, custom home on your own private lot or anywhere you can bring your own builder. They've built hundreds of homes across central Indiana. Visit Joyner Homes Model Homes or go to joynerhomes.com to see floor plans and pricing and more. With Joyner Homes, you can even start from scratch if you want. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joynerhomes.com.
Meals from those years are hard to forget. It was all white bread and whole milk, hamburger casseroles and quiche Lorraines, all with a side of cigarettes. We ate salads as desserts. We knew a party was classy if it had a cheese log, and we never missed an after-dinner smoke. It didn't matter if we were in our dining rooms, a burger joint, or the ritziest of restaurants. There'd be an ashtray on every table. And that very particular flavor in every meal. We smoked for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's amazing that our food could taste like anything else. If that was you then, get your lungs screened now. Surviving lung cancer starts with a scan. Learn more at screenyourlungs.org. This PSA was made possible by industry funding and guidance from lung cancer patient groups.
This time next week, I'll be sick in bed with West Nile virus, thanks to a mosquito bite right in front of my house.
In 8 minutes, my daughter will be in an ambulance, having an asthma attack, triggered by cockroaches.
I'm going to be bitten by a tick today. I won't even know it until Lyme disease turns my life upside down.
Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association and the CDC.
My name is Jamie Bowles, and I was diagnosed with non-small cell lung cancer in December of 2018. Nobody would even know looking at me that I have stage 4 lung cancer, and I'm grateful for biomarker testing for that. When I was sitting down with my oncologist, there was already state-of-the-art medication available that I was going to be put on right then and there. Ask your doctor how comprehensive biomarker testing before treatment may help you decide on the best treatment. Visit NoOneMissed.org to learn more.
A public service message from Longevity Foundation.
Overcoming drug addiction is difficult. The road to recovery is different for everyone. Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
Through their service, veterans have our backs. Now we should have theirs. Learn more at gotyoursix.org.
But if I finish all of my chores and you finish thine, then tonight we're gonna party like it's 1699. We've been spending most our lives living in an Amish paradise.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, and get ready because tomorrow is your last day to officially attend the Indiana State Fair, one of my favorite events, a highlight of every year, nothing but happy memories. Tell me, Producer Jack, have you had the opportunity to make your way out to 38th Street and enjoy the Indiana State Fair, a Hoosier tradition?
I haven't this year.
Blasphemous! What do you mean you haven't made it out this year? You got to go to the State Fair every year, my friend. Well, tell me, you got one day left to go. Surely you can squeeze in a little time on a Sunday.
I probably won't go.
So disappointing. What's wrong with you? I mean, look, I love going to the State Fair. My favorite thing to do, and look, I freely admit, you can look at me on the YouTube stream. I am not a fit man. I am a fat man, and I let myself turn into a glutton on the State Fair day. I like to eat my way around the fair, all the fair food. It's like one day a year that I treat myself, and that's the best thing to do. They got all the sweet stuff. I'll tell you what I had. I ate my way. I think it was about $80 grand total, which I don't think is too bad. I went on a $2 Tuesday. If you're going to go, that's the day to go, is discount day. It had turned into a $3 Thursday thanks to inflation, but then they brought it back this year. How often is that you actually get a price rollback, Producer Jack? Do you see that too often at the grocery store? Things were expensive. Now they got cheaper again?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but it happened at the Indiana State Fair. They gave us a reprieve. $2 Tuesday returned, and I took full advantage. I got $2 Dippin' Dots, $2 pork tenderloin slider, a $2 mini elephant ear, $2 maple root beer, a $2 corn dog, $6 maple candies, $8 lemonade slushie, $18 ribeye sandwich, and then I took home with me an $18 turkey leg and $20 for 2 bags of kettle corn.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's phenomenal, man. Don't miss out. You still got one day left to go. It's a Hoosier tradition, and enjoy yourself. You know, set a few dollars aside. If you get nothing else, make sure to grab the ribeye sandwich from the smokehouse next to the Pioneer Village. They just set up shop there a couple of years ago, but I think by far they have the best ribeye sandwich in the entire State Fair.
Noted.
I mean, and you know, I didn't try any of there were more than, I think, 40 new foods that were debuted around the vendors. I didn't go for any of that. It's the classics that really, you know, get me, because, you know, after you ate all that, I didn't really have any appetite to try anything new. And if I'm going to go to an event, like, I enjoy experiencing new things, but I also really enjoy getting to experience things that I already love and knowing that I'm going to enjoy them again. So it doesn't bother me, you know, just engaging in tradition when I eat my way around the State Fair. I don't necessarily need to try all the new stuff. And some of the new stuff isn't that great.
Yeah, I hear you.
Like I'm not going to try a pickle beer.
No.
Pass. I don't like pickles under normal circumstances, much less in beer form. But make sure to check out the State Fair. Tomorrow is the last day, a proud Hoosier tradition. If you haven't had the ability to go, maybe it's because the price of beef has gotten so darn unaffordable. While I was in Pennsylvania, Producer Jack, it cost like $30 a steak just to grab a couple of New York strips. Now, granted, they were, you know, kind of thick cuts. They were an inch thick and about a pound a piece, but $60, $30 a steak? That is outrageous. Now, you know, we were shopping the giant grocers, and they're kind of a, you know, higher mid-end grocery store. So, you know, granted, price inflated just a little bit, but used to be able to get 3 steaks for $30 back when I was a kid. Now you're talking about $30 just for one. This was a phenomenon. And now even ground beef is going for $10 or more, depending on how quality the cut is. This was something that was noted by Wall Street Maverick on the Twitter machine.
Hey, what's up, America? I'm here at a grocery store once again. We're checking out meat prices to see how much you're being whacked financially. All right, so let's check out the meat counter, shall we? Looking like $9.49 for some burger patties. Looking like we're doing $30 for 3 pounds right there. So that's almost $10 a pound. That's nice. We got $8.99 a pound. Look at that. These things are $7. The long ones there, $20. Here's some of the better lean beef for $10.49. You got me whacked up, son. Then we got steaks, $20, $20, $20, $16, $23, $22. This is becoming out of place and out of character. $20? Are you kidding me? Look at this. I mean, you just, yeah, it's ridiculous.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
No! No!
Beef prices are pushing beef out of the price point of many of the American diets. Like, we're going to be leaning a lot more on pork products, a lot more on chicken products, just to get quality protein in the diet. And that's a sad state of affairs that we've largely brought on ourselves. You know why, Producer Jack? Because we are gobbling up arable agricultural property with these ridiculous green energy projects. The solar panels, the solar plants, the wind turbines, or these ridiculous data centers and warehouses that are going up around Indianapolis. You can't eat a data center, you can't eat a warehouse, and if you are shipping all of your beef products in from other countries, you are going to jack up the prices, especially when the president is playing the tariff game on imports and adding an arbitrary increase on the price of importing goods. And so, yeah, that's going to have a negative effect on the beef market in the economy here in the United States, and that's quite unfortunate because many of us are beef-eating people, and it is now pricing it out of the diet for far too many Americans. So inflation not fully conquered, even though the economy is far better than it was under President Biden. We have another scandal that's brewing around here in Indianapolis, a mystery that has plagued New Crown Cemetery on the southeast side. They made a post on August 12th announcing that thieves had absconded with more than $170,000 worth of bronze vases and plaques from grave sites. This is some pretty gross stuff, Producer Jack.
Cemeteries are known as a place of honor and respect, but that's not the feeling at New Crown Cemetery right now.
This is the destruction that someone is doing to our bronze vases.
A Metro Police report shows 246 bronze vases were stolen from the cemetery, worth $171,000. 2 bronze headstone markers were taken too.
Where they have lifted them up off the foundation and they are cutting the screw that attaches them and trying to get the actual bronze memorial out. The majority of these markers are actually from veterans.
Linda Gillette is the cemetery's general manager. She says some are irreplaceable.
We have barrels out here from the 1800s.
But it's not the first time it's happened at New Crown. Last year, someone stole 150 bronze vases.
It's currently a problem within the whole United States that these are being stolen and taken for scrap metal.
Gillette says right now the cemetery doesn't know when or even how someone stole all the vases.
This is sacred ground where families have entrusted us, and we take that very seriously. And when something like this happens, we are distraught also. We want to find a solution.
You're damn right.
This is a larger problem than just a few vases being absconded with in a graveyard, and I'm sure the families of those affected are completely distraught and feel utterly disrespected, and they should, because as a society collectively, we have lost respect for beauty, for architecture, for culture, for each other. That's the only thing that's that is at the root of somebody's motivation to steal all these bronze vases. Or I guess maybe they just want to buy a steak because the price of steak is so unaffordable, then they're going to steal some bronze. But the other thing about this is, Producer Jack, if you try and sell this, if you offload this at a scrap dealer, any kind of honest dealer is going to flag this right away, because not everybody is going to show up with a truckload of antique bronze vases and funeral plaques. So the only kind of dealer that's going to trade in this will be unscrupulous, and they're not going to even give you full fair market value. Like, it's $170 to buy new bronze vases to replace that which was taken away, but scrap value is considerably less. And if you're going to deal it through an unscrupulous dealer who's not going to report you for thievery, then you're probably getting pennies on the dollar for that. So who knows what they made away with in total, but it was a fraction of the devastation that they inflicted on the family of those affected. And certainly, what a disrespectful thing to do. I don't believe in ghosts, but I hope those guys get haunted, Producer Jack, for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Stay tuned to 93 WIBC. Coming up next, the Sound Dump. Don't miss it.
Sun's up. The coffee is brewing, And Tony Katz is your morning information barista.
Tony Katz, good to be with you.
Clarity.
We're not interested in having this debate. We're only interested in honestly addressing the issue.
Context.
We should not present this in any other light. The objective is the destruction of Western civilization.
And a little caffeine.
Only the Constitution should rule.
Tony Katz in the Morning News. Weekdays 6 till 9 on 93 WIBC.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros, and a sincere thank you to our loyal customers for helping us to another record year. We recently saved a 62-year-old retiring couple over $800 monthly when compared to their COBRA offerings. We recently saved a family of 4 over $400 monthly when compared to their $7,500 deductible program on the ACA, and you know that's still Obamacare. We recently saved a small 4-man manufacturing company over $1,000 monthly and gave them better coverage. We feature coverages guaranteed to age 65, low out-of-pocket expenses, the largest networks in the country, and you can sign up anytime. If you are retiring early, self-employed, or need coverage for your small group, call us at 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. If you don't call us, we can't help you. What do you got to lose? Call us 317-563-0868 or go to rragency.org. As always, God bless America, common sense government, and peace too strict.
You were blessed to have a home large enough to raise a family. But now the kids have been on their own for a while, and the house seems a little different. All those rooms are a bit too much to manage. Simple just seems better. Simple Quarters is a company that understands, and they can help you trade in your house for one that's a better fit for this point in your life. A lot of folks don't realize you can trade in your house like you can trade in your car. Simple Quarters will buy your house and help you transition into a new one all at the same time. No double mortgages or months of showing and stress. They streamline the process. Or they'll simply buy your house as is, and you can take the next steps on your own. Simple Quarters is a Christian company committed to making your real estate transitions easier. If you're considering downsizing, Simple Quarters offers both as-is home purchases and a convenient home trade-in option. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers in Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Fox News and Daria Albinger, Oklahoma Senator Mark Wayne Mullen doesn't think yesterday's meeting in Alaska between Presidents Trump and Putin was a total loss.
Putin fears the economic impact, and the only country that can have an economic impact and force other countries to do so is the United States.
Mr. Trump will meet Monday with Ukrainian leader Zelensky at the White House. It's the first hurricane of the Atlantic season.
Aaron, a very powerful hurricane. Thankfully, the core of Aaron remains well to the north of the northern Leeward Islands, now about 105 miles to the north of Anguilla, 235 miles northeast of San Juan, Puerto Rico. But these islands are feeling the peripheral effects of this very powerful hurricane.
The National Hurricane Center's director, Michael Brennan, the storm is making a beeline for the Caribbean, and it could churn up rough surf along the East Coast in the coming days. America's listening to Fox News.
Heard about Galaxy Concrete Coatings and their transformation? Your neighbor Chip did.
I'm a real car guy, and I have a garage that I got tired of fighting the epoxy fight. Finally, I saw something on Facebook, and I got interested in Galaxy. Looked like a real good solution to me.
Homer Business, Galaxy's got you covered.
My house is on a post-tension slab. It can get cracked, so what these guys did was they came in and they grooved out all those little cracks, and now it's one complete lovely surface, very pleasant on the eyes.
Transforms pools, patios, garage floors, driveways, and more. And Galaxy Concrete Coatings comes with a lifetime warranty.
You can just tell by looking at it, it's going to be impervious to anything I can throw at it for as long as I can imagine. And I haven't looked back since. I love it.
Click on Galaxy Concrete Coatings today. And remember to like us on Facebook. Galaxy Concrete Coatings, we are out of this world.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Children are placed in foster care through no fault of their own. Because of abuse or neglect, it's heartbreaking.
We were just left in a hotel.
Tay and his brothers were adopted with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption. But more than 100,000 children in the U.S. are still waiting for a family.
Now that I'm adopted, I can focus on being a kid.
Learn how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Daydream, I fell asleep amid the flowers for a couple of hours on a beautiful day.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, where once again it's time to don your faithful hazmat suit while we wade through the sludge of another week in news. We'll begin by scrutinizing our neighbors across the pond who are now combating the plague of thought crime on the British Isles. Black community leaders in Cincinnati are calling for the white victims of a racist mob to be charged with a felony for allegedly baiting them into the attack. And also, a Kansas-run state-funded grocery store shutters its doors amid empty shelves and rampant thievery. All this and more for another edition of The Sound Dump.
I'll take you for a ride. I'm a garbage truck.
It's the Saturday Night Sound Dump on 93 WIBC.
I take you to the dump. I show you the sights, you know you want to ride. I'm a garbage truck.
Welcome back to 93 WIBC. You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Find my podcasts on WIBC.com as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, and that's producer Jack beep, 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 on the board, pushing the buttons and doing the things to make the show function. We begin by scrutinizing our neighbors across the pond. Producer Jack, you'll never believe this. They actually have a squad of patrol officers going after people for catcalling. They're dressing women in spandex and sending them running through the streets to give tickets to catcallers. That's the state of the United Kingdom.
These women aren't friends out for a run. They're actually undercover police officers taking to the streets in Surrey as part of a new operation trying to stop people catcalling and harassing female runners.
We get honked at, the staring, the hanging out of the window just to look at us, and it's so prevalent.
And police teams are ready to intervene the moment the officers are beeped at, followed or shouted at, pulling people over.
Those kind of behaviours may not be criminal offences in themselves, but they still need to be addressed. And of course, the people that are likely to commit those kind of behaviours, you know, they may then go on to commit more serious offences or more serious behaviours.
Afternoon, officer.
Tally-ho, good chap. Out enjoying a cup of tea on this warm summer's day, I see.
Well, what else?
Hold on a minute.
What?
Queen Elizabeth's name!
Oh, no.
You're not using a saucer, sir!
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
hope
have
you
one.
know.
Oh, no.
That's illegal!
Now, they don't have the same constitutional protections that we do, but I would challenge this. The officer said it in himself. Did you hear that? Well, it's not exactly a crime what they're doing, eh? Just a catcall a attractive woman that's jogging down the road, whatnot. Now, don't follow people. Don't make people feel unsafe. That's absolutely unacceptable. But, I mean, if the officer is having to admit that this isn't actually a crime, but then people might be susceptible to commit more serious crimes at a later date. Well, it's not a later date, and that's not a crime. So we are wasting law enforcement resources here, and we are going after individuals at a time when the United Kingdom, last I checked, they have a lot of knife crime that's going on, people getting stabbed, people getting acid thrown in their face, and then also you got underage sex trafficking rings that are going on right across the sea in England. I think law enforcement resources would be better time focus on that. Don't you? Stopping that kind of abuse. Sending people out to bait people into catcalling, women in spandex.
Yeah, I agree.
And if anybody's honking at them, it's probably because they're jogging in the street. Get out of the road, you daft bints. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC Saturday night on The Circle. Elsewhere in the United States, you have black community leaders who are actually calling for the arrest and charge of the white victims of the racist mob who attacked them. Of course, 6 individuals now in custody charged in the assault against that couple. And the black community leaders are very upset with this. They would like the couple charged as well for allegedly baiting people into attacking them. This is some very twisted logic.
6 individuals were charged with aggravated assault, which is a felony. The white guy incited or urged 6 other people to commit a felony.
The method by which this situation has been handled raises serious questions as to whether there's bias involved in the investigation. It also brings into question the possibility of a lack of integrity and whether there's something else to hide.
It's a joke. It's all a joke.
I'm not sure what else can be said other than these people are living in a fantasy where they believe the victims of an attack are the individuals that should be charged. That is a warped way of thinking and shows you how thoroughly the morals of these individuals who are congregating in churches have been corrupted by the victim mentality peddled by leftists everywhere. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC Saturday night on The Circle. Another failed vision of leftist utopianism was the state-run grocery store in Kansas City. Sunfresh Grocers have shuttered their doors after empty shelves and rampant theft, now leaving a community that had relied on these stolen groceries to survive, searching elsewhere for a meal.
For months, the store hasn't fully been stocked. Still, person after person comes to buy groceries.
I thank the previous operator for the years they put into that, as well as their predecessor, and now we'll try to do all we can to make sure that this works.
Mayor Quinton Lucas is disappointed. He met with the store operator 2 weeks ago for hours trying to come up with a solution.
Yeah, I know there are different challenges to how a grocery store can operate. Part of that challenge is that the city certainly has been happy to be a partner, but there's always a limit to what we will invest as well.
It comes down to money. The city owns the building and has invested nearly $29 million in the store. Still, the Sunfresh was losing money.
All of a sudden, you roll down here this morning and they're gone, and they're saying they're not coming back.
All neighbors know is there's no food here now, and they wish that wasn't the case.
I'd like to know what could be done maybe to bring it back. No offense, but it sounds like some commie gobbledygook.
$29 million to run this grocery store, producer Jack. I dare say if Walmart or Kroger wasted $29 million on any one of their locations, they'd be going bankrupt too. It has nothing to do with the difficulties of running a grocery store. You're the mayor trying to give excuses there. And it has everything to do with the inefficiency and outright corruption of government-run anything. This is exactly what played out in the socialist hellscape that was communist Russia. Any state-run entity experiences the same lackluster service and eventual disastrous downfall. And it's been repeated again. $29 million down the hole for a grocery store with empty shelves. Where did it all go, producer Jack? It went in the pockets of bureaucrats is where it went, and to sustain community of thieves, which again seems to be the priority of the modern day leftist. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Another incident this week. This was crazy. I'm not sure if you saw this yet. The Democrat candidate for governor of South Carolina, Mullins McLeod, he was caught in Charleston, South Carolina, ranting and raving in his underwear at the top of his lungs by police officers, and he refused to identify himself, only referring to himself as God and Superman. And during his likely substance-fueled rant, he also threatened his opponent in the race, Nancy Mace, said he'd kick her teeth in. What a guy.
Hey, Nancy, right now, because I only promised that I would not do this once I started this campaign. Because I can't do this once I start a campaign. You better tell the world right now that what you did in the wall of the Congress was the greatest sin ever committed in the history of this nation when you went and blew Lee Ackworth dog whistle in President Donald Trump's house, and you thought the system was so corrupt, the president himself would not be able to take you out. You better hope you're not anywhere in Washington, D.C. or Maryland or wherever President Donald Trump is, because I'm telling you, my friend, he will kick your teeth in. He don't give a what your gender is. So let's go back to the teeth thing. I'm going to kick every one of them in, all right? And after you kick them in, you don't know any dentist. Find me a dentist. Then they're going to put all your teeth before you swallow them, you dumb back in your teeth. Now, this will make them do this. You don't get Novocaine, you get and if the holes for your teeth, if they not properly sized to the teeth, you don't get new teeth, you dumb. You got to put your own work in here.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Oh my goodness, producer Jack. That guy has a temper problem. What do you say?
Yeah, he's definitely not going to win now.
Yeah, he's not going to win. But they've already nominated him, is the thing. Now Democrats are asking him to step down. They want to find another candidate to slot in there at the last minute because this guy's political career is done. All you got to do is just run that on a loop for any political commercial. My God, this was more than an hour. I wish I could have played more. More than an hour of him ranting and raving. And you heard a door in the background. This is him in the back of a police car. He's out of his mind. And they haven't released, to the best of my knowledge, what substance it was, but that's got to be substance abuse, alcohol, cocaine. Officers thought it was some kind of upper, like, PCP or meth or something like that. But again, they hadn't done any testing yet. That was just speculating based on the behavior that was exhibited by Mr. McLeod there.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, he's done. He's done for sure. But, as much as I would like to say that this is a Democrat proclivity only, of course, we got our own allegedly substance abusing mayor right here in the city of Indianapolis. But, Republicans, they're just as guilty of this stuff. All these political types are really psychologically unbalanced individuals, and we got a glimpse of it there. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. John Stossel actually had published a piece discussing Indiana recently. This was praising the city of Carmel for all of their misbegotten roundabouts, and I got a bone to pick with Mr. Stossel because I don't think he's driving on these things.
The town with the most roundabouts in America, Carmel, Indiana. Its mayor is Jim Brainerd.
You got 133 of them in your little town? It's crazy.
We've converted almost all of our traffic lights to roundabouts because we save lives.
Roundabouts do save lives. This study found roundabouts had slightly more crashes, but many fewer deaths and injuries. It's because of the angle of the cars.
Instead of a T-bone, you get a side swipe.
Also because cars slow down.
You see somebody do something, you're about to have an accident, you have more time to brake.
Slowing people down, though, makes it seem like it'll take longer for cars to get through intersections.
It really doesn't. The statistics are that a roundabout moves 50% more traffic than a traffic light.
Let's drive! The show Mythbusters did their own tests and confirmed that compared to stop signs,
the roundabout is a more efficient way to move cars through an intersection.
I don't believe you.
When you have a medium amount of traffic, perhaps, and there are some situations that a traffic circle is perfectly acceptable and conducive for. A great example being by the new Justice Center on the southeast side of Indianapolis, near the vicinity of Rural and Southeastern. There was like a 5-way interchange there that was very confusing, hard to distinguish which stoplight was actually yours, and that's now been solved by a roundabout. A perfect implementation, but not every intersection like they have chosen to do on the north side of Indianapolis. And anybody knows that the promises of it not impacting commute time are a bunch of bull pucky, because if you have driven on the north side around rush hour, it is always bumper to bumper trying to get off of the interstate. It takes you an hour, 45 minutes or more just to navigate the roads up there on the north side. And part of that is because people are driving in circles on the roundabouts and they're getting stuck there. It is not a solution for every intersection. Sorry. So I think John Stossel is mistaken there, although I do love many of his broadcasts. Stay tuned to the one and only 93 WIBC. You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. More on the way.
Hammer and Nigel.
The state of Texas can require voter ID for mail-in ballots.
It's not required already.
But Joe Biden got 82 million legal votes, Nigel. If you think otherwise, you might as well put the tinfoil hat on, okay? I don't think it's asking too much to have some sort of proof that you're a legal citizen in your mail-in ballot. Find a way.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
You let him try violin because you love him. And if you love him that much, love him enough to make sure he's buckled up and in the back seat. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the-right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
You hear that? That's Mike sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. That's because Mike was smart this time. He took ZzzQuil Ultra to fall asleep fast, stay asleep longer, and get the deeply restorative sleep he needs. So now he wakes up refreshed and ready to conquer Mondays.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Ultra. Not for colds, just for sleep. Really great sleep. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Juanita Segura, and I was diagnosed in November of 2014 with non-small cell lung cancer. The first time I heard about biomarker testing was actually my husband. He just started researching about lung cancer.
And I found out about biomarker testing, and I'm like, why not? Let's try it.
I'm Dr. Jorge Gomez, thoracic medical oncologist at the Mount Sinai Hospital. Comprehensive biomarker testing is looking for either substances in the blood or mutations in some of the genes of the cancer cells that can help us identify special types of lung cancer that can be treated with what we call targeted therapies.
Letting my children know brought all of us a sense of hope. To give them hope that mom is going to be around to see you grow up. And I promised them that.
Ask your doctor about how comprehensive biomarker testing before treatment may help you and your doctor decide on the best treatment for you. Visit noonemiss.org for more.
A public service message from Longevity Foundation.
Big stories locally, big moves in Washington. WIBC.com keeps you updated throughout the day with all the news that matters, plus traffic, weather, and more on your phone, your laptop, wherever you are. It's news when you need it. You're listening to Saturday Night on The Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on The Circle. Producer Jack, this is the passing of an icon, the ending of an era. After 34 years of dutiful service, AOL is now saying that they are ending their dial-up service across America.
AOL says it is ending dial-up service.
The news here is that AOL still has dial-up service.
In the 1990s, it was the way to connect to the internet with, at its peak, more than 20 million subscribers.
After downloading the program, you'd click on the AOL icon, choose from a series of local phone numbers, and if you didn't get a busy signal, you'd hear some irritating screeches, and then...
You've got mail. Hey, I've got mail.
Voila, you were online, and no one else in the home could use the phone.
But then came broadband and Wi-Fi, and most users said goodbye to dial-up. AOL says dial-up will hang it up on September 30th.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, old friend. May the force be with you.
Whew, boy, it makes me feel old. That was how we used the internet back in the 90s. I remember it well, and for me, up through the 2000s as well, because my mother was very cheap, and we were probably the last family in the neighborhood to get DSL service once that had been released. But yeah, just connected through Juno. It made the screeching sound. You ever use dial-up internet, Producer Jack, or was that before your time?
A little bit before my time.
A little bit before your time. I mean, by the early 2000s, pretty much everybody had started adopting faster speeds or DSL instead of the rickety old dial-up internet. Just crazy how the passage of time works, and now we find ourselves at the end of an era after 34 years. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on The Circle, and stay tuned for Hour 2. We're going to talk a little bit about the Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska. Who won? What was it all about? We'll tell you more in Hour 2. Stay tuned.
Another update is just minutes away.
I'd like to see a ceasefire. The two leaders behind closed doors for hours.
Hear the news.
There's no deal until there's a deal.
Zelensky to Washington.
Then I'll, of course, call up President Zelensky and tell him about today's meeting.
Had a long, meaningful conversation.
Stay in the know while you're on the go.
Next time in Moscow.
Ooh.
On air.
Several people to Indianapolis hospitals.
Drug overdoses.
And online.
Everybody survived.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
When you own a business, it feels like everything's on you. Orders, deliveries, employees, on you. That's why Comcast Business is giving you a year of mobile on us with your internet service.
Really?
Yep. We'll cover your first line of mobile for 1 year. So calling customers, getting directions, texting Janine and shipping, on us. The broken coffee maker? That one's still on you, which means you'll save hundreds for your business and get the fastest mobile service with 5G cellular and Wi-Fi hotspots on us. But hurry, this deal won't last long. Get a mobile plan and free up the budget to maybe, I don't know, fix that coffee maker? Get mobile on us for 1 year, you guessed it, on us. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/22/25. Restrictions apply. New mobile customers only with internet standard service or above. Limited to value of one unlimited intro line apply via 12 monthly internet bill credits. One discount per account. Fastest mobile based on mobile Wi-Fi and cellular data in service areas. Ookla Speed Test Intelligence 2H24.
Whether you're dropping them off for the first day of school or they're driving themselves for the first time, we know you have enough on your mind. That's why Hubler's got you and your family covered for 100,000 miles. And we want you to spend less on back to school. That's why you can shop over 2,000 vehicles and buy with zero down. Zero down delivers. Plus, we'll pay top dollar for your trade. Bring us your old car for an immediate appraisal. Head back to school in a Hubler Q-certified vehicle with a free Carfax history report and a 128-point vehicle inspection. Hubler's got you covered. For 100,000 miles, visit drivehubler.com or any of our 13 convenient locations. Zero down delivers at Hubler. 'Cause Hubler's got you covered. Select models approved credit. Warranty on select models less than 9 years old. Cover me!
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard Air dealer. Owner Chris Wedekin sells the ductless Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, which is a great option to heat and cool individual spaces while blending into the decor.
You want your poker room to be dressed up, you could take a vinyl wrap and put on these. If you like the more modern look, they have styles in black, silver, and pearl white that would be more aesthetically pleasing for your rooms.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
As an IT professional, you have the opportunity to guarantee your data security, participate in 100% landfill-free disposal, and have peace of mind with R2 V3 certifications. Technology Recyclers provides guaranteed complete data destruction, 100% landfill-free disposal, and the certification to back it up. Protect your data while saving the planet. Receive a free pickup of your e-waste from Technology Recyclers. Visit tech-recyclers.com. That's tech-recyclers.com.
Broadcasting from the Technology Recycler Studios, this is Indy's Mobile News, 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. The news starts now.
I'm Daria Albinger, Fox News. Well, you try again. And after his Alaska summit with Russian leader Putin came up short in an attempt to end Russia's war with Ukraine, President Trump will meet Monday with Ukraine's president at the White House. Fox's Peter Ducey with details from Anchorage.
Russia essentially wants control of 2 territories in eastern Ukraine if they are going to agree to ceasefire everywhere else. Ukraine wants Western troops to come into their country and guarantee that Russia doesn't come back. That is according to the Washington Post. President Zelensky is confirmed for a White House visit on Monday. European partners have reportedly also been invited. The president says this is because it was determined by all that the best way to end the horrific war between Russia and Ukraine is to go directly to a peace agreement. We're waiting to hear back from the White House about which European leaders may be invited to join President Trump and President Zelensky on Monday.
The president says if Monday's meeting goes well, they'll schedule another meeting with Russian leader Putin. Hurricane Erin, the first Atlantic hurricane of the year, has exploded in strength as it spins out in the Caribbean. It's now Category 5 with wind up to 160 miles per hour. Michael Brennan is director of the National Hurricane Center.
We do have a flash flood watch in effect for the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, with the potential for locally considerable flash and urban flooding, and landslides are also possible all the way from today into tomorrow, and we'll begin to see conditions improve in the northern Leeward Islands and the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico during the day Sunday as Erin begins to pull away from those areas.
Erin is not expected to make a direct impact on the U.S. The models show it turning out to sea. However, the storm is expected to bring dangerous rip currents and even life-threatening surf to much of the East Coast this week. America's listening to Fox News.
From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
I'm Janice Dean, Fox News senior meteorologist and host of the Janice Dean Podcast. Join me every Sunday as I focus on stories of hope and people who are truly rays of sunshine in their community and across the world. Be sure to subscribe to the Janice Dean Podcast at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And don't forget to spread the sunshine.
America's listening to Fox News. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
This is Jason Chaffetz from the Jason in the House podcast. Join me every Monday to dive deeper into the latest political headlines and chat with remarkable guests to hear their take on American life, politics, and entertainment. And don't forget, there's always somebody doing something stupid somewhere.
Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcast.com
or wherever you download podcasts.
Must listen to podcasts from Fox News Audio.
DC's Top Cop is back.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Hot temperatures for your weekend. I'm Johnette Cruz. Here's what's trending this hour. Heat is the main factor throughout the weekend in the state, but what about anything else? While the forecast for the Indianapolis area is mostly dry on Saturday and Sunday, there's still a small chance for some rain. Matt Eckhoff with the National Weather Service in Indy has your best chance.
Current data is showing potentially some rain creeping into our area in the Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon time frame.
He says if any rain or storms develop, it could knock temperatures down quite a bit. You've got highs in the lower 90s before a cool down begins early to mid next week. Authorities have charged a Jeffersonville man with murder following the discovery of a headless body at a home on Summerlin Place. A police standoff happened after Bryce Winicky retreated into a separate home on Callaway Drive. After a 4-hour standoff, police successfully took Winicky into custody. Jeffersonville Police Chief Kenny Kavanaugh confirmed that the victim and the suspect are family members, calling it an isolated incident. The tragedy has shocked the normally quiet neighborhood as the investigation continues. Notre Dame is nearing the final week of fall camp, and the cornerback room is loaded with talent and competition. Len Clark reports.
Veterans Leonard Moore and Christian Gray are stepping into bigger leadership roles, mentoring freshman Dallas Golden and Mark Zachary IV, while special teams coordinator Marty Biaggi says the return units are deeper than ever, with playmakers like Jordan Faison, Will Pauling, and Dallas Golden in the mix. It's all part of the Irish focus on detailed depth and doing the little things right this fall. Len Clark, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Johnette Cruz, on the level, on the go, and at WIBC.com. Now here's the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Feels like temperatures around 100 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy, scattered showers and thunderstorms possible. For Sunday, same thing. Scattered showers and storms, otherwise partly cloudy, hot, a high of 94. I'm Wish TV Storm Tracking meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Comprehensive cancer care is not just about treating cancer. It's caring for the person behind the diagnosis.
It's our team by your side to listen, connect, and encourage, and to celebrate every milestone together. Because at Franciscan Health, your journey is our journey. Your victory is our victory. Your hope and trust in us to provide extraordinary cancer care with the latest advancements, plus a little extra TLC, is our mission. Learn more at franciscanhealth.org/cancercare.
Hilltop Hideaway, a premier log cabin up on a hill on 5 wooded acres in Brown County, has availability for fall. Enjoy the autumn weather and fall color and feel a million miles from home. 3 bedrooms, wraparound deck, hot tub, fire pit, and walking trails. Hilltop Hideaway has high-speed internet and is just miles from Nashville, Brown County State Park, and the Brown County Music Center. Fall dates still available and August discounts available. HilltopHideawayLogCabin.com. HilltopHideawayLogCabin.com.
To protect his family from disaster, Steve used his camera phone. Done. By taking pictures of his important documents, Steve can always have them stored online. Learn more simple disaster prep tips at ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, hour 2 of the program. And if you missed a moment, make sure to catch the podcast uploaded to 93 WIBC as well as Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. That's my personal podcasting page. We're streaming live on the YouTube machine 7 to 9 every Saturday night. I always like to see your happy faces in the chat. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to smash the like button. Helps us out in the algorithm. And if we get to 50, then producer Jack's grandma is going to give him a pat on the head and a Werther's Hard original candy. Very, very hard earned. Thanks for listening to the show. This segment, oh yeah, and later in the hour, of course, our regularly scheduled Conspiracy Corner with producer Carl, so stay tuned for that. This segment, though, I wanted to cover the peace accords between Putin and Trump that took place in Alaska on Friday. No clear victor as of yet. It would seem that Russia is definitely going to stand on their desire to take those portions of the Donbas region and for Ukraine to yield a portion of their territory to Russia. I think it is unlikely that any ceasefire or peace talks will happen without some sort of concession along those lines. And also, Vladimir Putin, while he was at the summit, trolled leftists who were completely irate when he said that had Donald Trump won the 2020 election, the Ukraine war would never have even started.
I'd like to remind you that in 2022, during the last contact with the previous administration, I tried to convince my previous American colleague that the situation should not be brought to the point of no return when it would come to hostilities. And I said it quite directly back then, that it's a big mistake. Today, when President Trump saying that if he was the president back then, there will be no war. And I'm quite sure that it would indeed be so. I can confirm that. I think that overall, me and President Trump have built a very good, business-like and trustworthy contact. And I have every reason to believe that moving down this path, we can come, and the sooner the better, to the end of the conflict in Ukraine.
Join me. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
The ultimate winner here is the military-industrial complex, because if Donald Trump wanted to end the war tomorrow, all he'd have to do is say that we are not continuing to send missiles to Ukraine to fund their war effort. This is all on the backs of the American taxpayer and the American military-industrial complex that they are even able to keep the fight against Vladimir Putin going. So the ultimate winner is the American military-industrial complex, and you need look no further than the fact that Ukraine was excluded in Ukrainian peace talks to know that the real players here are between Russia and the United States. Ukraine is an incidental and secondary feature of the Ukrainian conflict here. This is a negotiation between two leaders, and at this point it seems likely, just because Russia can outlast can outlast the United States. When human lives are of no consequence, then they can just run out the clock until the opposition decides it is time to sue for peace, which would appear is the strategy here. Here in Indiana, of course, we have a continuing scandal unfolding in Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith's office. He also signaled his support for the White House push to redistrict Indiana, removing 2 Democrat congressional seats and turning them theoretically into 9 congressional Republican districts here in the state of Indiana, if they were to engage in a special session and redraw the districts between census years. This would trigger a tit-for-tat conflict across the United States, and I think Republicans may stand more to lose if they trigger Democrats' reprisal through redistricting. In this case, I think that gaining 2 seats ultimately is meaningless in the Congress, and furthermore, there's no reason to reward Republicans who, as of now, control all 3 branches of government. They control the Senate, they control the House, even though these are slim majorities, and then they also control the presidency, and still it's not enough. Then to reward them by gerrymandering the districts seems unwise and uncalled for. But also, there's been a AI porn scandal that's been brewing in the office of Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith. Have you heard of this, producer Jack? It involves a video of a state lawmaker's wife that was allegedly altered and then shared in the lieutenant governor's office by some of his staffers.
Right. I think you talked about this a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been unfolding over the last couple of weeks. Lieutenant Governor Beckwith continues to maintain that the video simply does not exist. Not only did none of his staff ever engage in the viewing or sharing of such a video, but such a video does not exist, according to Lieutenant Governor Beckwith. He's drawing a line in the sand.
So I learned about this Saturday. So I got a call from one of my staffers, and he said, hey, a treasurer's office, a former employee in the treasurer's office, was contacted by a journalist who said that the treasurer's office and my office were involved in this. And so we took it seriously. Obviously, we're not gonna sit back and just say, oh, there's nothing there. We took it seriously because obviously that would be there's no tolerance for that. Someone would be fired instantly if that was going on in our office. But looked into it, did our internal investigations. The more we look into it, the more we realize there's literally nothing here. There's no video. Nobody's ever seen this video that we can find. Anybody, nobody even knows that this video exists.
Like the deep fake video, you mean?
The deep fake video. So, I've to this day have not seen anyone or talked with anyone that's ever even seen it, let alone seen the video.
I see nothing. I know nothing.
This is a strategic mistake on the part of the lieutenant governor to make a falsifiable claim that the video does not exist, because all it takes to prove that statement incorrect is to, of course, show the video, show the existence of the video, which is currently being investigated by both a grand jury and the Marion County prosecutor. And we hear the lieutenant governor in this same clip with WOWO's Kayla Blakely, I believe was her name. Yes. Where he goes on to blame the journalists, and he tries to disparage Tom LoBianco by saying, we don't know who this guy is. He's from an obscure news agency. Who's ever heard of 24 News? And that WIBC, of course, for spreading it all around. This is low-T, weak sauce energy coming from the lieutenant governor to blame the media for reporting the news.
So there's literally nothing here. And so the media just picked it up, and it was this news source that I'd never heard of before.
Me neither.
24 site news. But then WIBC just picks it up and starts running with it like there's something there. And they push this out, and they're like, well, this is obviously something, because some reporter somewhere in the country got an alleged tip from some, and they're all anonymous sources. This is the same thing they did to Trump. And I'm like, have we not learned anything, guys, from what President Trump went through? And so again, there's very serious allegations, and we take them very seriously in my office, and that kind of action won't be tolerated. But I'm also going to call out the media here and just people pushing this narrative that there's literally no basis for fact.
Hey, buddy, you need a ride? I was just on my way to the big doofus convention.
So the lieutenant governor is asking for a lot of trust and confidence in just the authority of his claim. He says that it doesn't exist, and we should stop asking about it and leave it there. I mean, he's not even willing to show the process by which he investigated and allegedly cleared the staffers at his office. Like, you know, if it's important to be transparent, why wouldn't you show how you went about this investigation, how you were able to clear these staffers? But he made an interesting claim there where he was trying to distance himself from this reporter, Tom LoBianco, who broke the story for 24 Site News. Turns out Micah Beckwith is very aware of Tom LoBianco because Tom LoBianco did a profile piece on Micah Beckwith. He trailed him. He spent time with him on the campaign trail in the infamous Tahoe vehicle that he spent quite a lot of taxpayer dollars on to acquire once he was in the lieutenant governor's office. Tom LoBianco was right there.
And this is what's so funny. I know that he talks regularly with Caleb Blakesley up in Fort Wayne, and I actually, funny enough, as a journalist, I actually called in a correction to her radio station.
So she's the morning host on WoWo, which is the big talk station in Fort Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I called in a correction to something that he said on her show. I said, could you just, please add this to your story? I said, he says that he doesn't know what 24 Site News is. And that is incorrect, because when I'll pull up I'm going to read it to you here. Here's the text that I sent him setting things up when I was working on the profile for him, okay? And I said, hi, Lieutenant Governor, Tom LoBianco here. Hope you are doing well. I'm reporting a profile of you for the Indiana Citizen and 24 Site News. Wanted to connect. I'm at the State House today. Cheers.
And then
I
didn't mean to cut you off, but then you proceeded to, and I want to hear what his response, but then you proceeded to go into events with him. You were in the infamous car with him.
Yes. It was, I spent a day on the trail with him, basically. I mean, this is, it's something I do as somebody who covers politics. You go out on the road with politicians all the time.
So for him to say he doesn't know who you are, I mean, or what you're doing or what that website is, that's complete crap.
Yeah, he's lying about that.
He's guilty. You can see it on his smug little face. Guilty. I say guilty. Guilty. No.
So if Micah Beckwith is willing to lie about his association and knowledge of this reporter concerning this story, one questions, what else might the lieutenant governor be willing to lie about? Because he is establishing a pattern of dishonesty here. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. More Saturday Night on The Circle. On the way. Stay tuned.
It's hot out there.
The weather's hot.
And when we say hot,
But the headlines, they're even hotter.
I mean extremely hot.
The news of the day is heating up.
IMPD officers shot at least 3 times. One suspect was also shot.
Diego Morales, Secretary of State, in his bizarro international travel.
Playing out right in front of us every single day.
Stay cool.
Finally, a cool down is coming.
Stay informed.
All the information right here.
Stay with 93 WIBC.
The kids are heading back to school, and let's be honest, you're finally getting the house to yourself again, which makes now the perfect time to take care of that roof, siding, or gutters you've been putting off. And Moss Roofing is here to help. Moss Roofing has been helping Central Indiana homeowners for 34 years. They're family-owned, locally rooted, and known for doing things right every single time. Free inspections, honest advice, and top-quality work on roofing, siding, gutters, and windows. They treat your home like it's their own, and they clean up like they were never there. That's why they've got great reviews and a loyal following of happy homeowners. So don't put it off any longer. Let Moss Roofing check your roof, your siding, and your gutters to make sure they're ready for the winter ahead. For your free inspection, call 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Your future holds so much potential. The question is, are you planting the right seeds today to make it flourish? At Howard Bailey Financial, we strive to help you create a retirement plan that can adapt to your evolving needs, offering guidance to bring you clarity, confidence, and purpose along the way. Whether you're just beginning or refining your financial strategy, we're here to support you. Let's grow something lasting together. Text GROW to 888-262-1104 to start planning for your future full of possibility. That's GROW to 888-262-1104. Take the first step today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
You want to see basketball played the way it's supposed to be? Tune in to Ice Cube's Big Three this summer. Watch stars like Dwight Howard, Kemba Walker, Joe Johnson, Michael Beasley, and many more, along with Hall of Fame coaches. Experience the fast pace and physical play and fun action that defines the game. You know what it is. It's the Big Three. Catch the best professional 3-on-3 players in the world live every weekend on CBS and Vice.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Latrell spent more than 8 years in foster care. His world changed when he was adopted at 15 with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
I think about how much we love him, and I wish we could have had him for his entire childhood.
The foundation is changing the lives of thousands of teens waiting in foster care. You can help. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Find the path to recovery that works for you. Learn more at cdc.gov/stopoverdose.
I'm tickled pink that things are rosy and skies are blue once again.
This is Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
No more will I.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your bespectacled curmudgeon, Ethan Hatcher, returning to the microphone. Wanted to talk about the status of Fountain Square Skid Row that was supposed to be shuttered as of Monday, August 11th. And do you think, producer Jack, do you think that the Office of Public Safety actually got around to protecting the citizens and shuttering the homeless encampment?
No.
No, of course not. You would be right, because this city leadership is feckless and they care more about the rights of these bums to do as they please than of the freedoms and privileges of tax-paying homeowners in the area to be rid of the rampant decay around their property. This, as reported by WTHR, the encampment still going strong with more than a dozen tents and others returning to the famed Fountain Square Skid Row.
The city's deadline has come and gone for people to leave that encampment for the unhoused in Fountain Square. 13 News learned late this afternoon that the city now will not forcefully remove anyone from that area. Marina Silva went back to the location where tents for the unhoused are still lining our city streets.
Those living here on Leonard Street got an extension from the city. Ones we spoke with say they're hoping to move into their new housing soon.
For the last month, people living at this encampment in Fountain Square were told by the city of Indianapolis to find a new place to live. That deadline was Monday, August 11th. Now, on Tuesday, Angela Merrill says she is still waiting for her new home to be ready, and she has nowhere else to go.
Hopefully by tomorrow. It's a progress because it's got to be up to date for the government or their standards or whatever.
Money, please.
Oh, no, there's no money.
Oh,
okay.
That's fine. I'll just destroy this office.
Hey!
Money, please. Money, please.
Ben, give her some money. It's easier.
So, You heard that woman had been waiting for housing for months. In a report from WFYI, they said that some had been waiting years for housing because they're just waiting for a handout. They're not looking for a hand up or an opportunity to care and stabilize themselves. And this is always going to be a recurring issue unless the city is willing to stand up for citizens and say that this behavior is not acceptable and it's not going to be tolerated. The dirty little secret is the reason why a lot of these people are on the streets and not couch surfing, I should say, sofa surfing, is because they have burned bridges with family, with friends, with extremely antisocial behavior, and now they're exhibiting the same behaviors in the neighborhood to the homeowners who are having a heck of a time just trying to deal and survive. Even attempts to make peace with the Fountain Square Skid Row residents have proven fruitless and drawn further aggression. This, according to Ryan Hedrick, who was on Hammer and Nigel this week talking about the Fountain Square Skid Row and one homeowner's attempts to make peace with the neighborhood falling flat on their face.
Yeah, it's an open air drug market. It's a haven for violence, sex in public. I spoke to a homeowner. Her name is Chelsea. She doesn't mind dropping her name on the air. She gave me permission to do so. And she lives at the end of Buchanan at 925 Buchanan. She said she has caught people having sex on a Ring Bell camera in the backyard. They're stealing her water. And she has been kind enough with her mother and her sister and her to buy tents from these people from Amazon and have them delivered to the homeless encampment in an effort to try to make friends and so they won't steal from her. But she said that relationship isn't reciprocal.
Yeah.
They end up stealing from her and stabbing her in the back.
And that's another thing that I've heard from your reporting. It's not that these people in Fountain Square, the homeowners, are heartless. They just don't want their trash cans tipped over. They don't want things stolen off their property. It's, you know...
They don't want crimes being committed in their backyard.
Right.
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
This is a simple request from city residents to deal with the issue. This was something that was noted by James Briggs, of all people, writing for the Indy Star, by allowing these vagrants to take up residence in public spaces. You are excluding the public, the tax-paying public, the law-abiding public from use of those spaces because nobody wants to be around it. Nobody wants to be around these people because of how their generosity is treated, just like this homeowner who, you know, well-intentioned but made the mistake of purchasing tents in an attempt to make peace and was stabbed in the back. Her home continued to be vandalized. Her home continued to be stolen from. She continued to be a victim of public defecation and drug paraphernalia. And what else would you expect? This problem isn't going to go away. And ultimately, continuing to leave this situation unaddressed is unfair both to the homeless, who it is not safe or acceptable to continue to let them live on the streets. And it's certainly not appropriate for the homeowners that have to deal with it. This is something that Donald Trump is now addressing with common sense in his sweep of Washington, D.C. with the National Guard. This, according to Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, who announced that they would be making D.C. great again by removing the homeless and protecting citizens' rights. This is how it's done.
Regarding the president's efforts in Washington, D.C., do you have any specifics about how homeless people will be dealt with, where they would be moved to? What does this look like?
I do, yes, and it's an important question, so thank you for raising it. The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So D.C. Code 22-1307 and D.C. Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced. which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard, to bring in this assistance for law enforcement. While we are targeting criminals and trying to remove criminals off of the streets, we also want to make D.C. safe and beautiful, and that involves removing mentally disturbed individuals and homeless encampments as well.
It's morning again in America.
This is a common sense approach that needs to be mirrored everywhere across the United States. And absolutely, every effort should be made to connect the mentally unwell with resources to treat their mental illness, whether that's a therapist or an asylum, some form of confinement, connect drug addicts with treatment for their addiction, for counseling, and connect others with shelters and job resources, an ability to get them an effort to get them back in to be a contributing member of society. And everyone else who is unwilling to engage with those social services, then the expectation should be for them to move elsewhere where it's not going to disturb residents with their antisocial behavior, or else face fines and jail time. And it really should be that simple. Thanks for listening to 93 WIBC. Coming up next, Carl's Conspiracy Corner. Don't miss it.
It's another week of this.
There's a very good chance that we'll have a settlement.
And another day for this.
Water rose 28 foot in 45 minutes.
Plus, another possibility of this.
Monitor the weather condition, the National Weather Service.
That's why another update is just minutes away.
Start saying we're not taking this anymore.
Just another day. Not with all this happening every day.
Happening now.
93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
It's Terry Stacy, and not too many locally owned businesses in central Indiana have been around 80 years, but Cardwell Do It Best Home Center on the south side has stood the test of time. This year, Cardwell Do It Best is celebrating 80 years of serving Indianapolis, and they're saying thank you with some really great deals. Cardwell Do It Best is your discount roofing headquarters, featuring dimensional roofing as low as $21 per bundle. With a wide variety of colors in stock, you'll find the perfect match for your home. Need to freshen up inside? Check out their full line of best look quality paints by Sherwin-Williams, with paint and primer in one and custom computer paint matching to get your color just right. And for the yard, they carry a full line of trusted lawn and garden products, including Scott's Lawn Care to keep your grass green. Come celebrate 80 years strong at Cardwell Do It Best, locally owned, community trusted, and always ready to help you do it best. 3205 Madison Avenue, or shop online at cardwellhomecenter.com.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Everyone knows that PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is the place to get one-of-a-kind jewelry pieces. Diamonds, gold, gemstones, watches, everything. But PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse is also the place to sell your jewelry, your watches, your coins, or bullion. PA Jewelers has the best prices and the best payouts. And they walk you through the process so you know what your pieces are worth and what you're getting. PA Jewelers at the Farmhouse, 3750 South Green Street in Brownsburg, or online at pajewelers.jewelry. That's pajewelers.jewelry.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers and Carmel, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Fox News, I'm Angelo Bavaro. President Trump is aiming for a lasting peace deal ahead of a White House meeting with Ukraine's president on Monday. This follows Friday's sit-down with Russia's leader in Alaska.
The meeting was a very warm meeting. You know, he's a strong guy, he's tough as hell and all of that. But the meeting was a very warm meeting between two very important countries, and it's very good when they get along. I think we're pretty close to a deal. Now, look, Ukraine has to agree to it. Maybe they'll say no.
President Trump on Fox's Hannity after that meeting with Vladimir Putin. Hurricane Erin is now a monster Category 5 storm at its bands, lashing the northern Caribbean islands. That storm is not expected to strike land, but dangerous rip currents could hit much of the East Coast this coming week. America is listening to Fox News.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Jim Scott is based in Clinton County, but they're now serving a larger area.
Boone County and Hamilton County, there are just not enough HVAC contractors in those areas to handle the demand. So we can offer a value for them because of our 5-star rating, family-owned, quality.
On the north side, give Jim's a call at 765-601-1461. Jim's is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Two of the best summertime traditions are back. The Indiana State Fair and the Indiana Farmers Dairy Bar since 1941. This year featuring the key lime pie milkshake and the smoked Gouda Q grilled cheese with Gouda cheddar barbecue sauce on Texas toast. The Indiana Farmers Dairy Bar since 1941. Open 9 to 9 at the Indiana State Fair, across from the Coliseum. Brought to you by American Dairy Association Indiana, your Hoosier Dairy Farm families. Find out more at winnersdrinkmilk.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing. If your skin feels dry, your laundry's rough, or your dishes come out spotty, you're likely dealing with hard water. I've seen it in my own home, and a water softener truly makes a difference. Right now, Lance and his team are offering $750 off through the end of August. Your water will feel better, your appliances will last longer, and it's an upgrade that's definitely worth it. Call 317-927-7186 or visit ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Sometimes an identity threat is a ring of professional hackers. And sometimes it's an overworked accountant who forgot to encrypt their connection while sending bank details.
I need a coffee.
And you need LifeLock, because your info is in endless places. It only takes one mistake to expose you to identity theft. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Now, P for you trucking with a rubber duck, and I'm about to pull a plug on your drain.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle. I'm your Bohemian codger, Ethan Hatcher. My podcasts are uploaded to WIBC.com and my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. And we're streaming live on the YouTube machine 7 to 9 every Saturday night, so pop in the chat and join the fun. Since that fateful meeting on Jekyll Island culminated in the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1913, this pseudo-independent agency has controlled the United States monetary policy and opened our economy to the shadowy interests of international bankers. The quiet scandal that's being ignored by traditional media is that 3/4 of Federal Reserve remittances are going to foreign banks and quietly jeopardizing American financial security and independence. Tonight, you'll hear a dedicated enemy of the international bankers fighting against their blind lust for power, the one and only producer Carl, who joins us for another edition of Carl's Conspiracy Corner.
You're listening to Carl's Conspiracy Corner. The truth is out there.
Have you ever seen a commie drink a glass of water?
Well, yeah, I can't say I have.
The views expressed by Conspiracy Carl are those of Carl and Carl alone. They are not the views of his station or its distributors. I mean, obviously.
Deep beneath the streets of Indianapolis in an undisclosed broadcasting bunker, we're once again joined by producer Carl, who's here to tell us all about the Federal Reserve and their duplicitous intent. What's going on, Carl?
Nice touch on the Jekyll Island reference. I'm sure that a lot of people aren't even aware of how the Fed came to be.
Google it. Look into it. We could do a whole segment about that.
And the Fed is about as federal as Federal Express.
Sure.
This is a private entity. It's actually technically a corporation, and they control the entire money supply of the United States. And when you consider how important the U.S. dollar is, they basically control the money supply of the entire world.
Well, they're supposed to keep the economy stabilized, but think about how devalued the dollar has been since the Federal Reserve has gotten in control. Like, we've lost so much of the value that we once commanded.
Well, and just think, with that kind of power, the amount of corruption that comes into play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is a very wonky subject, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it, entirely. But E.J. Antoni, who is a frequent guest of Tony Katz on Tony Katz syndicated show, Tony Katz a Day, was talking about that not only does Jerome Powell need to be fired, but the entire Fed board needs to be fired because of this remittances issue. Where basically, whenever the Fed has a net gain on anything, they're supposed to remit it back to the U.S. Treasury because we're lending the Fed its money to do what it does. It turns out in the last 3 years under Biden, not a surprise, 3/4 of these remittances are going to foreign banks. It's like, what?
So they're excavating the United States value. Excavating United States dollars and sending them to foreign banks.
Well, and it's also giving them a lot of power. When I say them, I'm talking about foreign banks.
The international banking system.
We are essentially at the beck and call of foreign interests. And that's been what the whole Trump movement has been. It's been make America first. Well, it's hard to make America great again if you are indebted to all these international foreign interests and multinationals.
So we had a soundbite from E.J. Antoni. What did he have to say about
so
it?
Basically, I wanted to play it directly from him so you weren't just hearing it from Conspiracy Carl. Let's play it.
Exactly. So instead of making payments to the Treasury on behalf of taxpayers, the Fed is making payments to Wall Street to the tune of $450 billion or $1 million a day. Again, it's over $450 million every day. And actually part of the scandal here, Tony, is the fact that if you look at something like the reverse repurchase agreement marketplace, more than 3/4 of those payments don't even go to American firms. They're foreign financial institutions, and we don't even know how much of the interest on reserve payments are going to foreign institutions directly or indirectly, because that information is not disclosed by the Fed. So, I mean, it is an absolute scandal that the Fed has basically turned the monetary system now into a way to give free money to these different financial firms, many of whom aren't even American.
This sounds like an international banking welfare system.
And I'm listening to this. I'm publishing for Tony. I'm listening to this and go, this is a huge story. Nobody in the MSM is covering this. I mean, if you want to be like an anti-Trumper, like, let's talk about this. Like, why is Trump just talking about too slow or too late Jerome Powell? Excuse me, 3/4 of the remittances from the Fed are going to foreign banks?
So they're
about?
jeopardizing American monetary independence because they're enriching other nations off of our dollar. And this is the danger of when we went off the gold standard, because you used to have a backed economy and we controlled the gold that was in the nation, and then now that's completely gone to pot with this fiat currency.
Yeah, So to repeat a narrative here, you are not in control, meaning the people that are listening now. There are foreign interests. There are multinationals that.
So not even the Congress is in control.
Well, please, the politicians are all bought and paid for. Come on, I mean, think about what goes on here locally. With these H-1B1 visas, and people are getting paid to bring people over from India and all these other foreign countries. So these data centers that are being built are not even going to be employing Americans.
By our own Secretary of State, allegedly.
Yeah, they're going to be importing the employees. And just recently, look it up. I know I'm a crazy conspiracy theorist, but just look it up. Jim Jordan, who we conservatives tend to like because he does a nice sound clip every now and then talking about the left, he was granting visas to Chinese nationals that are members of the CCP. And I'm like going, what is going on here? Everybody's on the payroll except you and me, Ethan.
So the illusion, voting is just the illusion of choice. It's basically a placebo at this point.
In the Soviet Union, they had elections too.
Sure,
you just had one choice. I mean, Saddam Hussein won 99% of the vote, and those other 1% happened to get killed.
And we joke about it, but the reality is, starkly more evident every day that the duopoly is really the uniparty. They're one and the same.
Well, this is a wrestling match, and I voted for Trump 3 times, so I'm not one of these never Trumpers. But I have to realize that what does Trump do a lot? He's friends with the World Wrestling Federation. Dana White and McMahon.
Yeah.
Linda McMahon is in his cabinet. It's wrestling, so it's
He's a showman,
orchestrated.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like you got the good guy and then you've got the bad guy. So
well, I mean, he's done nothing to rein in federal spending since he returned
there's
to
a
office.
report out today that our actual deficit is worse than
Continues
it's ever
to
been.
grow.
But yet we brought in the most tariff money that's ever been brought in. I'm like, well, why isn't it paying down the debt? In the big, beautiful bill, which we all know that people said was going to increase the deficit, it's doing exactly that. So not only are we continue to pay income taxes, which the tariff was supposed to replace, we have more debt. So each family household is indebted to pay this down.
The more we try to spend ourselves into prosperity, the more we are weighted down by the excess of inflation and the pressures of the interest rates on this money that we're borrowing that we simply don't have.
Yeah. So, anyways, like I said, it's really wonky. I wanted to delve just very quickly into what's been going on in the news, and it hasn't really been explained. Much like the price of eggs when Trump began, the price of beef has been going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nobody explains what's going on here. Well, have you heard of this new thing, this new scourge that we have to worry about?
Oh, no. What's the latest?
It's called the screw worm.
The screw worm?
Where you get screwed over, buddy. The screw worm. It's like a parasite that infests cattle. Again, no threat to human beings. Just
my take is that you can't eat windmills, you can't eat solar panels, and you can't eat data centers.
Yeah.
And that's what's gobbling up a lot of our farmland, and we're not creating farmers anymore. We're creating warehouse workers, but you need to feed yourself.
Well, so
and we're importing too much beef.
My theory is, and it's just a theory for now because I'm not hearing really anybody covering about the price of beef. Much like the bird flu, they're going after the cattle. So the screw worm comes out. They're shutting down ranches. They're quarantine ranches. And one farm, a cattle rancher, they're called Merriweather Farms, has asked the USDA to show the proof, because the USDA is shutting down these ranches. Now, these cattle, the screwworm is no threat to human beings. If you cook your meat, you're not going to get the screwworm. So this is just a threat to cattle ranchers. So they have a vested interest in wanting to protect their cattle. But here's good old government coming in. We're going to shut you down. And there you go. It's all economics 101. If you have a shortage of supply, demand remains the same. The price goes up.
And the bankers win in the end.
Yeah, and they're going to get the land after they bankrupt the landowners.
Well, that's not a very cheery way to end the segment, producer Carl.
Well, it's a Saturday night, Ethan, so go out and have yourself a drink.
Well, yeah, now I have to have one to dull the pain. Thanks for that. Stay tuned for more on Saturday night on The Circle, and thank you, producer Carl, as always.
Thank you.
Kendall and Casey.
Look at how he just broke it further than it was already broken. Why would you think he's going to fix anything?
You had the chance.
You know who you need to listen to? Us. We're the ones who are right. We're the ones who will tell you how it is. We're the ones who always stand up and own it. You need to listen to us. Stop listening to these politicians. They are to blame.
Kendall and Casey. Weekdays 9 till noon on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
If you can plan barbecues and weddings, you can plan to protect yourself from a natural disaster. Sign up for local alerts, prepare an emergency kit, and make a family communications plan. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Golf fans, convention goers, and visitors of all kinds, welcome to Indianapolis, a great event hosting city thanks to Hoosier hospitality and terrific infrastructure like state-of-the-art stadiums, meeting spaces, and hotels, plus a world-class airport and interstates that make it easy to get around. But these buildings and roads don't just happen. They're built by men and women living here in central Indiana. Union members of Labor's Local 120 maintain and build in these roads, bridges, and highways. They're the ones you pass as you drive by the orange barrels. It's hard work, dangerous work. Yet there they are, working to make sure you have a smoother, safer ride to your event. And just like you, they'd like to get home safe too. So let's be mindful of the local workers who make the roads safe for all of us.
This is Chris Bricky, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the Cone Zone. Slow down, save lives. We're all in this together.
Now that the warm weather is here to stay, you've probably spent more time outside, mowing the lawn, weed whipping, or watering your garden. Have you noticed cracks in your exterior walls, bricks, or concrete? Are there gaps between your door frames or window sills? These are clear warning signs of foundation problems. If you notice any of these in your home, it's time for Indiana Foundation Services experts to come out and identify your home's issue at the source. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection with a no-obligation quote included. Don't wait any longer. Early detection and timely repairs can help prevent further damage to your home's foundation and ensure its long-term stability and safety. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection with a no-obligation quote included. That's IndianaFoundation.com. Indiana Foundation Service. There's a reason they are the trusted local experts.
Indiana Foundation Service. Reliability from the ground up.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. I was on the verge of being homeless. My house was being foreclosed on. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Visit cdc.gov/RxAwareness.
Recovery is a journey, and no one walks it alone. The Supporting Sobriety podcast helps friends and families understand addiction, offer support, and care for themselves along the way. Hosted by Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
And in the words of that immortal bard, Samuel J. Snodgrass, as he was about to be led to the guillotine, make 'em laugh, don't you know everyone wants to laugh? My dad.
You're listening to Saturday Night on the Circle on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Saturday Night on the Circle, 93 WIBC. Thanks for spending your Saturday evening with me. And I wanted to end on a bit of a light note by celebrating that it appears Hollywood has got the memo. And now the new Paramount boss, David Ellison, said that he's going to be focusing on making movies for middle America again. And Top Gun 3 is going to be their top priority, along with, a spate of comedies and movies to appeal to the missing middle. I approve. I think it would be great for Hollywood to stop engaging in the woke DEI destruction of the entertainment industry. But there was one other topic that I wanted to discuss, and I didn't get to in the previous segment because we ran out of time. This week on the Kendall and Casey show, Rob Kendall put forward a name for a potential candidate for Indianapolis mayor, and the more I think about it, the more I like the idea. Not because this would be a serious candidate that would win, but because this is somebody who could burn the city to the ground and uproot the political system, and that I'm here for. This was who Rob Kendall suggested on the program this week.
If Hogsett is indeed running for a fourth term, which is now the belief of many people who certainly heard him the other night, that he's gearing up for a fourth term, and we know the Republicans have zero chance of winning, don't we just have to have the most fun campaign ever and let Stephen Whitmer from Indy Reporter run as the Republican nominee for mayor of Indianapolis? With no attempt to even win, just to burn everything to the ground? Would that not please the people? You ain't gonna win anyway.
It'll at least be entertaining.
Let's say and do all the things. I am starting the Indy Reporter for GOP mayor nominee movement right now, right here today. Stephen, I see you in the YouTube chat. Will you accept the nomination if indeed it is put your way? He said, let's go. Very good.
This will begin to make things right.
Look, the Marion County GOP has already demonstrated that they are utterly unserious about nominating a candidate to beat Joe Hogsett, to meaningfully beat the Democrats here in the city of Indianapolis. So why not take advantage of the situation? Why not nominate somebody that doesn't have any political ties, that doesn't have anybody that he has to answer to, somebody that would be willing to burn the system to the ground, and that is Stephen Whitmer of the Indy Reporter. He actually has some experience running a campaign. He ran and failed to be elected as a congressman here in the state of Indiana, and I think there were many flaws to his campaign for sure, but we're not looking for a winner here, Producer Jack. That's the beauty of this strategy. We're just looking for a flamethrower. We're just looking for somebody who would be willing to ask the questions nobody in the mainstream Indianapolis media outside of this radio station has been willing to engage in. Things like why Joe Hogsett disappeared during the riots. Where was he? Why has he looked over the enormous abuses that were taking place within the city-county council building, like the unfolding scandal of Thomas Carl Cook abuse within the city-county building? So there are lots of unanswered questions, and Stephen Whitmer would be somebody who's utterly and totally willing to ask the questions and confront Joe Hogsett on the debate stage. So the more I think about this idea, the more I am inclined to agree. I think Stephen Whitmer would make a great candidate for the Indianapolis city mayor, if only to upend the political system and send everybody running. I think he would be great for that. Thanks for listening to Saturday Night on the Circle. Unfortunately, that's all the time I have, folks. If you missed a moment of the program, make sure to catch my podcast uploaded to WIBC.com, as well as my personal podcasting page, Saturday Night on the Circle.fireside.fm. See you next week. And in the meantime, I'll leave you with my parting words of wisdom. As always, wherever you are, whoever you're with, and whatever you're doing, remember that life is a state of mind. See you next time.
Nigel.
Weatherman upset that Trump cutting some funding to the National Weather Service. The war on science. Yeah, tell me more about that science that told me I had to wear a mask made in China that didn't protect me from anything. Tell me about the science of 6 feet apart. Tell me about the science of being in a restaurant. You could sit down and